Hello and welcome. In today's video I'm going to be bringing you a Call of Duty Modern Warfare beginner's guide. Welcome back, that's right, my name's Chills, and in this video I'm bringing you that Call of Duty Modern Warfare beginner's guide covering those attachments and covering Gunsmith in a bit more detail to help you guys out. So let's get started. When you go into the custom loadout screen to edit your weapon, you're going to see this tab that says Gunsmith. So if we go ahead and click on that, it's going to open up a new screen and you're going to see that there's two more tabs, one which says attachments and one which says customize. If we go and click on customize, it's going to show you all the different camos you've got, reticles for any scopes if you use them, charms and stickers. But really we want to be focusing on these attachments, and when you go into this screen you're going to see that it's broken into categories. These are going to be muzzle, barrel, laser, optic, stock, underbarrel, ammunition, rear grip and perks. So some of the perks have now actually been added into the Gunsmith section, so you can actually add some of these separately and they're not actually in that creator class which you would normally be used to in older Call of Duties. Some of these consist of things like sleight of hand, fast melee, starting with full ammo, things like that. I won't go into any of these though, because if you look at them, there's a description on the right hand side and that tells you exactly what each perk does. What I do want to do though is talk you through what you need to know and understand about these different attachments to help you improve your game and get a little bit better at Call of Duty. So when we go on to one of these attachments, you're not only going to see what it is, you're going to see a little description, you're going to see some pros, some cons, and you're going to see this little bars down the bottom and they're just the stats of the weapon. So what do we need to know? We need to look basically at these pros and these cons and also these stats, and what it's going to do is it's going to help you determine how you're going to play using this weapon, or what you're going to add to this weapon, or you're going to put things on in regards to how you already play. So you're going to see things such as aim down sight speed, movement speed, recoil control, damage range, all different things like this. And basically what you have to do is you need to determine which ones you basically want to be putting more of on your weapon in regards to how you play. So for me, I'm quite a rushing player. I quite like to get up close, personal and in amongst the action. So I like to put a lot of pros that consist of, aim down sight speed, fire from sprint speed, just things like this, movement speed a little bit. Things like this that can give me that cutting edge when I'm close to the enemy, and these milliseconds and seconds do add up and do make the difference. I can tell if I'm up against someone that doesn't have these stacked up, because I will always be able to shoot my weapon just that little bit quicker. So I don't have to focus on things that are going to control my recoil so much and my aim stabilization. Because I'm so close to the enemy, you can sacrifice that sort of aim aspect and get that shooting speed up. Now, if I was someone that would like to sit back more and play a more slow-paced game, I would be looking to put things like recoil control, aiming stability. I would like recoil stabilization. That'd be a good one, because all these things are going to really help you get that aiming really sharp and really crisp for them longer distance shots. Okay, so let me talk you through some of the things that maybe might not be as straightforward as people think. I won't go through all of these pros and cons because most of them are self-explanatory. Aim down sight speed, it's going to be your aim down sight speed, things like that. But when it comes to the recoil control, so this is how much recoil is reduced on the initial shot fired. You might find when you first get a weapon, you've got no attachments, like the AK-47 for example. It has quite a big kick, quite a lot of recoil, and it can be difficult to actually control the weapon, so you actually have to tap it out to start with in order to get them range shots. Well, this is actually going to help you control that recoil. Then we have aim stability. This is when your aim down sight, your weapon is going to sway a little bit left to right, okay? So this might be handy if you're really sitting back, because at greater distances, if your red dot or your ACOG or sniper is swaying just slightly left to right, that could be the difference between a hit and a miss. Then we have recoil stabilization, and this is a good one once again. So this is going to actually reduce the recoil of the weapon, okay? So that's going to bring that recoil down. All the other ones are really pretty straightforward. We have different optics, we have different things. One thing that is actually quite interesting as opposed to important is bullet velocity. So in all other Call of Duties other than Black Ops 4, they actually used a hit scan system. So when you was to shoot your weapon, the game would work out for you if you was actually aimed in on your opponent at the time you hit fire, and it would actually work out whether that was a hit or a miss. Well, in this Call of Duty, it uses a projectile, and that means that actually when you fire your weapon, there is a bullet that does leave in the game and therefore hits the opponent, and that determines whether you've made a hit or a miss. It's not a hit scan. So bullet velocity is quite interesting because it's actually the speed in which your bullet is traveling when leaving your gun. So this could be the difference between actually having to lead a moving target at distance or be able to shoot right on their body. Hey guys, if you are enjoying this video, please hit that thumbs up, hit subscribe, and do leave a comment down in the bottom in that section. You know, maybe tell me your favorite setup and how you like to play. But getting back to it, what we also need to focus on are these stats down the bottom, okay? So it's all good and well looking through these pros and cons and working out, you know, what you might want to be putting on a weapon in relation to how you play the game, but also keep an eye on how they actually affect those stats, because it's not all just about these pros and cons. Some of them may look like they're doing the same thing, but actually they may just be changing things very slightly when it comes to these stats. So what do you want to look out for? So accuracy and control are basically, you know, there to do with how accurate the gun is and how well it controls, such as, you know, the recoil like I spoke earlier. Mobility, so this is how quickly you're going to be able to move around the map, and also it is to do with how quickly you can fire that weapon, okay? So things like aim down sight speed is going to put your mobility up. Fire rate, how many bullets your weapon is going to be firing per second, let's say. Then we've got damage, how much damage the weapon does, and then we have range, okay? So range isn't just about how far your bullet is going to travel. It's not like there's an imaginary wall and as soon as your bullet gets to that wall, it just disappears. No, damage is actually more to do with how much damage it maintains over that distance, okay? So things like a submachine gun would have quite lower range, and that basically means that the bullet is getting to the opponent, but the damage is reduced. Okay, so you're going to get a lot more hit markers. So that's a thing to know about range. And what you'll see is that there's green and red. Green is how much it's going to go up when putting that attachment on. Red is how much it's going to go down when putting that attachment on. So as well as looking at the pros and cons and things like that, do pay close attention to them stats at the bottom, because that's going to give you a real better understanding about how that weapon is going to perform. The best bit of advice though that I can give you that can really help, you know, determine which attachments are best for you is, and it's going to really just be trial and error, okay? So the best thing you can do is, if you sort of know which attachments you do want to use, then that's great. If you don't, and you don't really know how maybe is best working for you, then just try as many out as possible. Keep an eye on what, you know, pros and cons and stats are on when you put it on, to give you a better idea of actually what you were using when playing. And this can really help you determine whether you want to, you know, add more of one or less of the other, things like that. But yeah, definitely just practice trying all different attachments out, because, you know, they're not just there to look pretty. They do actually hold some important values which can come in handy And also, you know, if you want to use things like all the red dots and reflex sights, holographics, all of this, you know, they may all look like they're doing the same thing, but they all do look different. Some of them hide more of the screen than others, and just, you know, really try and practice with as much as you can. Take away from each game what you've improved on, what you haven't improved on, and then use this to determine, actually that one wasn't right for me. I know definitely I don't need to put that on my weapon, and I promise you'll definitely improve and get better. Thanks for watching. My name's been Chills. I'll be back again soon with some more Call of Duty Modern Warfare beginner guide videos, so please hit that like button, hit subscribe, and I'll be coming back soon. Thanks again for watching.